Hey, what's up, everybody? You are listening to the Success Playbook Podcast. I am so excited about today's episode. I have none other than Miss Lois Cook. Hi,
Hey,
Lois.
what's up? What's up? Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here. I think our audience is in for a treat because I think we're going to put them hip to some things that they may not be aware of.
Okay, yes, let's do it.
But before we jump into that, I like to play a little game with my interviewees, and it's called This or That. Now, for those who are new listening to the show, This or That is something that allows us to get to know Lois a little bit better. We're going to spit out two different scenarios, two different topics, and Lois is going to have to choose, and she's going to tell us a little bit why, as to why she chose her answer.
Oh boy.
These are family-friendly questions.
Okay.
Awesome. So, podcasts or books?
Ooh, good question. I'm gonna say podcast.
Podcast. Okay. What are you listening to?
The Huddle. That's my podcast. Listen to a variety, so I'll just kind of pick out and see what's on. But I like to listen to a lot of motivational stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That's my lane. I love it. Okay. Hot cereal or cold cereal?
Cold.
Okay. What's your choice? What's in your top three? Actually?
Oh Lord. Okay. Golden Grams. Golden Grams. Honeycomb. I like honeycomb.
Okay.
And Fruit Loops.
Okay.
Toast Crunch. I mean,
yeah, that's a staple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't think I have had Golden Grams on this show yet. Everybody says Frosted Flakes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Honey Nut Cheerios. Okay.
Well, those are good too, but I'm not gonna pick them on a normal day.
Awesome. So what's your go-to meal to make from scratch?
Oh, chicken and rice, child.
Chicken and rice. Okay.
Chicken and rice. You can fix it any kind of which way.
Okay. Is there like a little secret sauce, or is it just?
I love to do like a onion soup mixed with a mushroom soup and a chicken soup, and put that in there. Of course, chicken thighs are probably my favorite to cook. But any chicken and rice is always a go-to.
It's your staple. Okay. In the Cook household, that's your staple. Love it. All right. Thanks for playing our game.
Yes. That wasn't too hard.
Awesome. So let's jump into our questions for today. First and foremost, tell us who Lois Cook is. Tell us about your childhood, where you grew up. Who is Lois Cook?
She's a hustler. I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. I grew up with my grandparents, and both my parents are deaf. They've been around, but for the most part, my grandparents raised me and my brother. I have an older brother. He's 11 months older than I am. So we are the same age for a month. I like to call us twinsies and try to wear the same thing. He don't really like it though. But I grew up loving football. I was always out in the neighborhood. My grandmother's mother lived in North Carolina. And when I was growing up, she was much older. She was very elderly. And so my grandmother would go to take care of her. So every weekend we would travel down to North Carolina every holiday, every spring break, every summer break. So I pretty much split my childhood between Bullock, North Carolina and Silver Spring, Maryland. So I like to say I'm a country girl. I love to be out in the country. I like to look at the stars at night when there's no clouds, no smog, nothing. But yeah, I grew up loving to be outside, playing with the neighborhood boys, bike tags, soccer, everything, you name it. But football was always the funnest one for me. So grew up loving the sport and, of course, got into it. And then now I just enjoy empowering other women, other girls to follow their passions.
I love that. Okay, so you touched on it a little bit. So you are a professional women's football player.
That's right. Yes.
What does that entail? Because not everybody may be hip to they may be like, okay, we got women's professional football. What? So
right.
Put us on game. Okay.
All right. So yes, we are out here. We have women's pro football. This is It's tough because for women's football, it's completely different than the resources that the men have, right? So you automatically will think NFL and try to, start to compare. We typically practice 2 hours to 3 hours a day, maybe 3 to 4 times in a week. So we kind of have to get in where we fit in. So most of the women who play have outside careers. And so, but we are still out here. We're learning this game. A lot of the women who started playing, just started this game as of 18 years old or older, much older. So we didn't grow up with it. So it's a lot to learn. It's very intense. It's survival of the fittest, because a lot of people will start out like in the beginning of the season with 70 to 100 people who want to play. And then they start to weed out a little bit because it is a very intense game. Yeah. But these women out here are doing it. I mean, like the talent is phenomenal. The product on the field is so entertaining. It is a must-see. You got to come out here and see. These are mothers, aunts, cousins, grandmothers, daughters out here playing football. And it's the same game. I would say that you get a lot more passion. And you can see that translate on the field, because one thing that's different is that the women who play, and this is not to take away from men, but I feel like we have a certain level of appreciation for the game. It's not given to us. We have to earn it.
Yeah.
You can't just, you cannot just show up and think. Like I said, we didn't grow up in this game. We didn't have parents who were pushing us into Pop Warner, get into this program, train here and train there. We have to get it in as adults. So we're learning this game in crunch time, and we are out here eating and killing it. It's amazing.
I love it. So the way you explain it, it reminds me of like G League. And the reason why I say G League is because it's like, I come from the G League. That's where I worked before. It's just so gritty. And it's the hustle is just like none other, because they're the ones, it's like, they're the underdogs. They're the ones that nobody expected to make it to the league or what have you. So each and every game, they show up and they show up. So it sounds like, this is the same circumstance. Like, they hand it to us. So every game you're going to get passion.
That's right. Absolutely. And you see it. And these women out here, we're fighting for each other, blood, sweat, and tears. And we're out here doing, like, we are on, like, in between the whistles. It's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of grit, a lot of hustle. Yeah. These women are out here passionate, we play for the love of the game. So if we don't have no cut cards, nothing, we're out here just, giving it everything that we have.
I love it. And I'm jumping around a little bit, but so are the games open to spectators? Like, do you have...
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So we're televised. We're on ESPN2 and also the Women's Sports TV Network. We also have For the Fans Network. We play Saturday nights. And it's always open to anyone to come watch. It's a lot of fun. The games are very family friendly. For the Divas, we always do contests and giveaways. So it's a good time.
That's awesome. I just lost track of my questions. I just got so interested. So I know you talked a little bit about your country upbringing and how you were split between up here, Maryland, and I think North Carolina down south.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So is that where your love for football came? Was like being down south?
I think it was mostly here. I just can remember playing with the neighborhood boys here. Like when I was down south in North Carolina, I was with my cousins a lot. So we were doing a lot of other stuff. We weren't really playing football, but up here, playing with the neighborhood boys, just, snowball fights, building forts, whatever. That's where it came from. And it was just this one day that we played football. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I can push people. I can jump on people. I can pull people and I'm not getting in trouble for it. I can fight. Now I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't like to fight for real, but when you're on the football field, for me, it feels like freedom. Yeah. It feels like you can just do anything. It's like there's no limitations. And I was the one girl out there. So the boys, they might say that they didn't want to hit a girl, but I say I was too fast for them. So my brother would throw me the ball and I'd score. And so I guess it went to my head. So I just really, really loved the game. And then, of course, we didn't have like a rec league, or at least not that we were aware of. One thing was I was born with a hole in my heart. So my grandmother was very protective of me, right? So she wasn't even looking for no type of sports or anything like that for me to play. But she was always very protective and didn't want me running around too much, but I was out there doing it anyway. But yeah, so when I got to high school was when I was introduced to an actual organized team. And then I wanted to play. And of course, the coach looked at me like I was crazy. So I didn't actually play, but I became very obsessed with the sport. So
Nice.
That's why I followed it.
So what is it about football that kind of draws you in? Like, I know we love to tackle and like punch on folks and stuff. We love it. But outside of that, like, is there something about the technique and like the strategy that kind of draws you in?
There's a lot about football. I think mainly football it's very much a mental game. It's not just physical. I mean, it's definitely physical, obviously, but you have to be in tune mentally and physically every step of the way. And it's a game that forces you to be your best self. So it's not for me, football has not been a competition with other people, but it's competing with myself to be my best every single play, to be better than the last. I love just, the adrenaline rush when you're in between those whistles. It's really a statement to yourself. How far can I go? How tough can I be? What else can I do? Like how much can I exert in this play? So it's really a challenge in just finding your best self. And then I also really love the team aspect. I love being on a team who is my family. Some of the players on the team will be my best friend for my life. I have players, who I've known for years who are some of my best friends. And it means everything to have that kind of a support system. As the team, we can call on each other, like, hey, I need an oil change. Anybody, like anything. And the team is always there for you. So you always got somebody in your corner when it comes to that. So
awesome.
I could go on and on, but let me just say one more thing. The other part to it too, and this is something that I really talk to other girls and young boys too who want to play that, but football and any sport really, but for me, obviously football is my lane. It's character development. Yeah. You're going to learn things about yourself. You're going to develop qualities, leadership, resilience, perseverance, all these kinds of things that you learn. Confidence. That's like a big one. I used to be a really shy girl. Mm-hmm. I was very shy. I'm still shy. Like, don't let it fool you. Okay. I'll go around. I'm pretty quiet. I'm pretty shy. But football has placed me in different positions and scenarios that force those qualities to come out. Yeah. Whether it be working with your team on the field, you got to work together. I can't run a route not knowing what the receiver next to me is doing. Otherwise, we're going to run into each other, or the scheme, the concept is not going to work. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more to football than what meets the eye.
Yeah. I love that. And that character development piece, I hear that a lot. I also heard, so we just had Sonia Richards-Ross on the podcast. So she's a Real Housewife of Atlanta and 4-time Olympic gold medalist. She said one thing sports has taught her is delayed gratification. She said, just spending so much time practicing and preparing, it disciplines you to in this microwavable generation, it disciplines you to have that delayed gratification. So,
absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Like I said before, you can't just show up and expect things to happen. Yeah. You have to put in the work. And sometimes that work ain't going to show up. You're not going to see it right away. You got to, it takes time and it's progress, but yeah.
Exactly. Sure. Exactly. And so tell me, who are your favorite teams?
DC Divas, of course. I'm also a big time Commanders fan, home team. Yeah. Those are my two.
Do you watch basketball or any of soccer or anything?
I do. I like women's basketball. I rather play than watch, to be quite honest with you. But yes, I'm a advocate for women's sports. So I like the mystic, the spirit. They have a ultimate frisbee team, also the Shadow. Oh. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. They out there too. I haven't tried that yet, but yeah.
In these streets. Okay.
So, and then for the men, the Wizards, of course. I'm a home team girl.
Okay. Mm-hmm. DC sports through and through.
Yes.
Okay. So this segment of our show is called Put Some Respect on My Name.
Okay.
So, Lois, some of our listeners may have just heard about you. Some actually may be familiar with you. But for those who may not know fully who you are, tell us about some of your career highlights. What are some of the amazing things that you have done?
I do not know how to toot my own horn, first of
This
all.
is where you learn. This is because toot, you deserve it, Lois.
Okay. One big highlight for me was that I was actually on a billboard outside of SoFi Stadium for the Super Bowl. This was it was a campaign for Got Milk, and the campaign was Football is Football. And this was the first time that really I felt seen. I think that for women who play football, we feel so small in this huge football world, right? There's, everybody sees the men, everybody sees NFL. And then the women who play, even though we're hustling, we are out here, blood, sweat, and tears, we're not often seen. And the billboard said, there are giants among us. And that was huge. Like when I saw that, it was the words, and I know that it was my face on the billboard, but I feel like it's all of our story and it's our time. Like I feel, so that was a huge highlight for me. I have another, there was another highlight actually on the field. So Boston Renegades, they are right now 4-time back-to-back national champions. I believe they have about 7 total championship titles. Boston and DC used to be really like neck and neck. And it would always come down to, is Boston going to the championship or DC? And so Boston has taken the lead. But I got a touchdown against them. It was like my only one, but that's a highlight for me. So, yes. And I'm going to play that clip. I'm going to keep playing that clip.
You should, honey. The win is the win.
Right. What is
it? No, that's excellent. Especially the billboard. Like, yeah. I know that even last year, it was an intentional effort to like push and promote women in football.
Yeah.
So like I'm seeing that as a trend.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, like I was always I was the director of community relations for the DC Divas. Right now, I'm the vice president for the team. But as the community relations director, I would always put together events so that we could be out in the community and give back and, just support, whether we're like visiting senior citizen homes, giving holiday cards, Valentine cards, visiting pet shelters, things like that, going to schools. We would always do something all the time, like a couple events per week. And then COVID hit and it was like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? So I started taking to social media, and then I got a little bit creative with getting the team involved and doing different social media campaigns just to still be present for the community. And that's when I started to get creative with my own social media, and it just kind of blew up. I got a lot of, it was well received. I had a lot of like literally thousands and thousands of young girls across the country who always wanted to play football. And I knew getting that, I was like, I got to do more. There's, this is a pleasurable responsibility that I have. So I started to travel the country to visit young girls who play. And I feel like taking that time to just really push on social media, especially during COVID, when all eyes were on social media, people were at home, stuck at home. I feel like that really helped our sport. It got a lot of eyes. I have people coming to me even today saying, you were the reason I started to play football, things like that, which is great. I think that everybody should have the opportunity to play. Even if it's not something that you want to do, you should still have access and opportunity to it. So I don't know where I was going with that. You said something about so
yeah.
But I think it started trending, and then like it's just so powerful to see where we are now with women's sports.
Yeah. I love that. And it 100% connected because we was talking about the billboard and visibility and all that. Okay. So perfect. We get the connection. Awesome. So this segment of the show is called Life and Success. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into like some of your philosophies and all that good stuff. So along those lines, what are some of your core philosophies that you live by?
I will find a way or make one. Yeah. I cannot sit still. If I need something done and I don't have the resource to do it, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make a way. And I think that has carried me a long, long way. That's actually my my school, Clark Atlanta University, is where I went, CAU. And that's the motto, is find a way or make one. And that has really been true to me my whole life. No matter what it is. I remember my kids, I have 4 kids. And when they were very young. I wanted the growth chart that hangs on the wall. And I couldn't find one that I wanted. I wanted it to be like cute and like, kind of tailored to their room. So I ended up painting it myself. So I started, and then that started a whole business. And I had people like asking, requesting that. It was like a whole business. I don't do it no more because it takes a lot of time, but I will put my, like, if it's something I want done, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll add that. All right. So professional football player, VP of community relations, and your
vice president of the team.
Hold on, let me put respect on your name.
I was the director of community relations, and then after that, I did move up to vice president.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
For the woman in sports, on and off the field.
Yeah,
through and through. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, and professional room painter. Yes,
I am.
Multifaceted. Okay. So, Lois, why is it so important for you to have a message about women's sports and women in sports? Like, why is this work so important to you?
It's important because it's not about sports. It's about you, and it's about what you put yourself to. It's about having a passion and being able to set yourself out to reach goals, no matter what they may be. It doesn't matter what society says or what society deems is appropriate. If it's something that you love, that you will work hard for, then you deserve the opportunity to do it. And I think that football has been my vehicle. It's been my lane, but it speaks to everybody, not just women, but boys, men, everybody. If there is something that you are good at, or something that you want to learn, or whatever, it may be outside of the box, but you can do it.
That's awesome. Okay, it's not about football, it's about you. It's not about sports, it's about you. I love that.
Yeah.
And so tell me, how do you define success?
That's a great question. And I think I probably had a really good answer to this a little while ago and I forgot it, but I think success is making progress intentionally. Mm-hmm. So if you set out to do something and you actually execute on those steps to get there and you see the progress, and it may not be the end result, but if you see the progress, I think that's success. I think it's being intentional about growth.
Yeah, I love that. Intentional progress. Yes. That's awesome. Okay.
Sometimes it's not intentional. It happens. But when you are in the mindset and you understand what you're doing and how it's being done, then I think that
yeah. I love that.
Sorry, I didn't give you more than that, but
no, that was good. that. Okay, so I wrote a book called The Art of Taking L's. And it talks about how like taking L's can basically push you further into your destiny, your journey, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me about an L you may have taken and how it ultimately shaped you on the journey that you're on.
So I'm gonna have to take this back to high school. Actually, when I wanted to play football, because I think this really does shape where I am today. I often I wonder, where would I be if I did get the opportunity to play in high school? I might have just been there, done that, and been done with it. I sometimes try to imagine, like, where would I be if I did play in high school? It would kind of be like a been there, done that type of thing. But when I wanted to play in high school, I wasn't able to. And that actually made me grow very obsessed with football, so much that I was watching everything that the boys did. So the quarterback on game day, he'd carry the ball around everywhere that he, throughout school. They wore their jerseys. I would watch them at practice. So everything that they were doing, I would kind of pick up on and just observe. And I got very obsessed with it, that I would be like, I would doodle my name. My nickname was Lolo. So I put a bubble letter L and then a football as the O, and then an L and then a football as the O. And I'd write footballs on all my pages and stuff like that. So anyway, moving forward, it is what kind of kept me close to the game and wanting to play. And when I got to college, Clark Atlanta University, I was carrying the ball everywhere that I went. And the security guard on campus ended up being he was the head coach of the women's team down there. So he recruited me to play. But it's so important because it has taught me about being a vision on the field. And if I had the vision of a woman on the field in high school, I would have known that I could still sit there and learn the game. At least I could have, reached for it. I would have known that it was possible for me to play. Even if I couldn't play right then and there, I would have known that there are women who play. So as long as I, continue to learn the game and still reach for it, I can do that. And that has given me the posture that I'm in today. And that's why I want to be a vision for those other young girls or women or whoever that, your dream is there, that all you have to do is continue, just stick with it. Like I was obsessed. I mean, I was throwing the ball to random strangers and they were entertaining it and throwing it right back to me. You don't have to be that extreme, but just know that your passion exists, and if you are in it and you love it and you want to work hard for it, you can always go get it.
I love that. So like become obsessed with what you're passionate about. That's what I'm getting.
A functional obsession. Yes.
Functional obsession. I love that. That might be the name of this episode. Functional obsession.
I just imagine like if I played the game and then I don't know, what if I got hurt or it could have been anything, and then I was done with it, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I would in my entire life. This has been my career. Everything has revolved around me playing football. And where I am today, all of the videos that I do, all of the brand campaigns that I align with, everything revolves around football. And just, showing people that you can live your dream too.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it was handed to you, like rewind back to high school, if that opportunity was handed to you, you probably wouldn't have like went so hard and taken it so seriously. You probably won't show up with the same grit and passion.
That's right. And just knowing that I had to earn this. I had to work for it. I had to find a way to get it. That's what I did. It was something that I loved. And even though I was told no, even though it wasn't something in my reach, I went and I sought it out. I continued to keep it in my heart and carried it with me wherever I went. And eventually I made it.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what advice would you like to leave some of our audience members with?
Keep going. Always keep going. Whatever you're going through, even if it's a hard time, just keep going. But most importantly, success and passion and all of those things, your dreams don't come without hard work. You have to put in the work. A lot of people might see, I have a lot of growth on social media, a large following. That didn't come without hard work. But everything that you put your mind to, definitely put the work into it. It's all worth it. So yeah.
Love that. And you just reminded me I have to post tonight. I really this social media, I mean, people think I'm good at it. I'm like, I really don't like it. I do not like social media, but
oh, and let me say this. I don't know where I went with that. Let me say it like this. Be yourself. Be true to who you are. I think that's the one. Be who you are. Because there is a quote out there that I really love, and it's be who you are so that those who are looking for you can find you. And I think that kind of goes with everything. My passion is football. I never let it leave me. I never let it leave me. So that's who I am. I'm a football player. I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor, and that has brought me success in my life, in my career. Be who you are. Be authentic, and and especially like with social media, you can be anybody out here. You could try to fake the funk and be somebody that's not, but people will see that. The most success and growth comes from being genuine to you. So be who you are.
Yes. Love it. I think that's a great note to end on. Who you are. Be authentic. Be who you are. I love it.
And if you want to be obsessed, be functionally obsessed.
Be functionally obsessed. Awesome. Well, this was great, Lois. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun. I'm going to go get me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch.